Welcome to Natural 20 Proof, the show that exists because drinks are good, friends are better, and the dice gods own our souls. So today we're starting with our very first session 0 for the stream. We're going to be having Nolan and Roberto in for their character introductions here. Real quick, big shout out to Sirenscape, who we are using for all of our sound files and whatnot. Y'all are awesome. I'm learning new stuff every day about how to make more interesting soundscapes for the games that we are doing here. So everything y'all are doing, keep up the good work. All right, and we're going to go ahead and roll right on in. So getting started here. Roberto, your character is walking through an icy northern mountain range here. You have spent many weeks now currently wandering, though it has felt almost like years to you. Since departing from your home, trying to find some path forward for yourself, you have wandered through the mountains, slowly working your way to southeast around the city of Carrig, and just generally looking for adventure and achievement wherever you go. In that period of time, you've encountered several wanderers who have informed you of a strange encounter they've had near a ravine slightly further south. In that ravine, they've said they've seen a strange hooded figure, and beneath their hood, they've seemed to have said something is odd about the face. Long, draping kind of appendages seem to be flowing outwards from it. And this, of course, brings to mind exactly that thing which you have, that has long haunted your nightmares. However, in true Goliath fashion, you have decided to confront your fears and move down to encounter this creature, learn more about it, and perhaps find some redemption for yourself and for your tribe. It's taken you some time. You've traveled a couple of days this way. The icy northern climate here really barely even bothering you. You've lived your entire life in these sorts of climes, battered by icy winds, slashing frosts and hail. And as you've moved south, the climate has only gotten more pleasant to you. It's starting to feel a little balmy, to be honest. It's starting to make you itch a little bit from how easy it is moving through this kind of climate. However, the notion of what may lie ahead has kept you feeling rather sober through this quest. Eventually, you find your way to the location described, seeing a large ravine carved into the earth itself, into the mountainside. It is sort of a sudden approach. You're simply wandering through the forest, pushing through the undergrowth, pushing past evergreen trees, until eventually you almost fall headlong into this ravine. Looking down, however, you do stop yourself in time. Looking down, you can see it's about a 50-foot drop down to a sparsely snow-covered bottom here. The chasm opens up beneath the lip of the ravine, revealing that the interior space is slightly larger and a little bit more significant towards the bottom than it is from the aperture at the top. You fasten a rope around a nearby tree, dropping the hempen line down towards the bottom, and begin to descend into this lower area. It takes you a little bit of time, however, your powerful Goliath physique has very little trouble navigating this, and eventually you make your way down to the bottom of this cavernous floor. What do you do?
Take a look around.
Okay, go ahead and roll an investigation check.
All right. Just a moment. Get back over here. Zoop. All right. We're looking at 21. Good roll.
21. So taking a look around here, it's pretty clear to you that there has been signs of life in this area. You can see scuff marks around on the ground. What appear to be scraps of leather and cloth have been left about. Some half-eaten food scraps have also been forgotten in corners at points. Seemingly this food is dried meat of some unknown origin, a little bit unsavory looking and gnawed upon, and some of the gristlier bits have been tossed aside. More intriguingly, you see driven into the wall at various points moving upwards, shiny wrought iron, well, as shiny as wrought iron gets, pitons that have been driven into the stone surface up towards the lip of the cavern, though only about 2 or 3 high, perhaps spanning up to about 25 feet. Before the cavern begins to cave in on itself and become very overhung as it moves towards the lip above you.
If I don't spot anything moving around, I suppose I move along the ravine and see if there's a path.
Okay. So the ravine ends at one side. However, the other side clearly moves down into a deeper passageway, moving down in towards some unknown depths below.
Caves. What could possibly go wrong? I go in.
That'd be great, yeah. All right. Are you proceeding in stealth or just normally?
I am wearing chain, I believe. Stealth would be difficult, but I may as well give it a shot.
Okay.
That's disadvantage on stealth, is that correct?
Yep.
Oh boy. Oh yeah, that's not good. Yeah, it's a 6.
So you attempt to press yourself against the wall. However, the rasping noise of the chain links that make up your armor against the stone quickly begin to echo down into the depths below. You're pretty sure you're not exactly moving undiscovered. However, you continue on in this fashion. And what is your passive perception, by the way?
Passive is 13.
13. Okay. As you're moving along, you eventually come out into another cavern a little bit further in. It's not very far, only perhaps 150 feet down this passageway. And you can see that there are torches lit down here at various points. They seem to be haphazardly constructed out of what appear to be lashed together bones, sinew, various rags that have been stuffed in, soaked in oil, and then lit to illuminate this chamber. There are also a wide variety of various, again, haphazardly constructed crates, bookshelves, sort of the rudimentary camp equipment that has been established, along with what appears to be a large tent towards one side that has again been constructed out of leathers and hides that have been sort of sewn together in a hasty fashion. As you're moving along, your foot collides with a stone that you had not really been paying attention to on the ground. As this stone is struck, it yanks upon a string. This string pulls aside a stick that is holding up what appears to be a large boulder that had been propped against one wall off to the side. The boulder falls down, splashing into a puddle, which puts out a candle. The candle itself going out seems to agitate a small wombat in a cage that had been put there, wombat-looking creature, that begins to thrash around in anxiety, knocking the cage over and causing a cascading effect of various stones that tumble down, knock into one far board.
Can I see where it's going?
You're looking at it as it's moving around the side.
Can I try to like stop it before it hits the end of the chain?
I will say roll a dexterity saving throw.
That's a 15.
A 15. As you begin to run down as quickly as you can towards it, the cascade of stones runs into a board which falls over and triggers a catapult, launching what appear to be large severed spider limbs towards you out of the darkness of the cave. Fortunately, being a dexterous individual, you manage to duck out of the way of this clattering series of appendages that tumble to the ground right where you're standing. As you're rushing towards it, you see a large fire appear in the darkness, and a figure emerges, shrouded in a cloak, large tendrils hanging from his face, and you see...
Is that going to be a... intimidation?
Let's make that an intimidation check.
Alright. That's versus, what is that versus? Wiz?
Go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw in that case.
Okay.
12.
Okay. No, that's 5.
So the vision of this creature appearing out of the darkness immediately takes you back to that period of time in your history there, and you duck backward, drawing your weapon as this creature, menacing in its form and stature, begins to proceed towards you. And why don't you go ahead and describe your character here, Roberto?
This is a Goliath whose names have been stripped due to his failure to properly dispatch a similar creature once before. His life has been difficult since leaving the tribe. With his names stripped and his only possessions being basically a old raggedy sword and a buckler, he's been making his way across the world so far, only getting about a few dozen miles south of the mountainous region that he calls home. And he's been looking for redemption. Goliath always wants to do better, and nobody did not do better.
All right. And what does Nobody look like?
Looks like a typical Goliath for the most part. Large, heavy-set shoulders, but his head is a little bit small for his body, a little bit gaunt. The rest of his body is very muscular and whatnot, but his face is just sort of like a little long for his face, for his ratios, proportions. Wearing some pretty typical chainmail. As most Goliath, he's got the little nodules of bony stuff all along his skin. He also has these tattoos that could be tattoos, but all Goliath have these patterns running along their bodies, sort of vertical striping, typically in some sort of runic, sort of jagged pattern. However, his, due to his encounter with an Illithid-ish character, have become a little bit wobbly. So he's a little wigglier than most Goliath would be.
All right, a wiggly boy. So this is what you see as you emerge from your hiding place, Nolan. You were pretty aware something was coming down into your cavern based on the scraping sound of metal against the wall, and you quickly took shelter against the backside of the cavern here, relying on your traps and intimidation to hopefully deal with whatever new threat was approaching you. However, you see a figure that does not look altogether like what you have come to expect from your time down in these caverns. It's creepy. So you see this large figure emerging out of, kind of silhouetted against the light coming down from the ravine in the other cavern there. And they seem to be clad in chainmail and holding a large weapon there. What do you do?
I'm frozen in just watching.
Okay.
Can I tell he was like shook by it at all? Or?
It looks like you definitely startled him. Coming out of the darkness there, he immediately drew a weapon and kind of shrunk back a little bit in this kind of defensive posture there. Right. So it looks like he is at least wary, if not a little bit frightened.
I'm slowly backing away.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I get a little closer to the fire that spawned on the ground. And as I do, you start to notice that the things that looked pretty scary and intimidating at first really aren't in good lighting. And up comes this actually kind of shorter guy, certainly shorter than you, in a dark brown duster and a crossbow. And he pulls off his hat after realizing that you're not something that's necessarily trying to kill him. He pulls off his hat and he's got a what looks to be a plague doctor mask that has leather tassels and stuff strewn off of the beak area. And and he pulls that down and it's hanging down and it's strapped onto the chest piece, which is this burgundy leather strap or strapping area with studs and stuff in it.
Nice.
And he puts that down, and this incredibly handsome half-elven face with dark hair and eyes like dreams pops out of the mask and says, "Oh, geez, mate, I nearly shot you. Sorry. How you going?"
It was a mask.
Right. I have this mask here. It keeps me from getting acids and stuff splashed on me when I'm working on stuff. Hi. It's been a long time since I've actually seen anyone. Whew. Hi.
I just throw my shield on the ground.
It kind of clatters as
Frustration.
the shield hits the ground, and it kind of echoes down into the passages behind. You can see that this is not the only way. This is not the way you came in is not the only way out of this cavern. There are a couple other passages, much smaller, but seemingly moving out about 2 other directions into the darkness below.
All right. What are you doing here?
Well, it's a bit of a funny story, actually. So I was, well, it's actually not that funny. It's actually kind of sad. But you might find it funny. Let me tell you anyways. So a long time ago, I was actually out selling some potions out by a Carrig, and well, I was kind of chased away from town. I don't really want to talk about that, but...
Carrig. Yes.
But yeah, so I was chased away, and then I kind of fell into a crack in the earth here, and I haven't been able to get back out. Been down here for some time, not quite sure exactly how long. You're the first person I've seen that hasn't tried to kill me on sight. Actually, you know what? You did try and kill me on sight.
Apologies.
I mean, it kind of looks that way anyways. It's a nice shield, and I scurry up and I grab the shield and I check out the material.
What is your shield made of?
It's a pretty simple, common shield. There's a buckler with some engravings on it, a little geometric sort of, probably like a Greek sort of geometric pattern on it. Why Greek? I don't know. That's just sort of what it looks like.
Okay.
It's well constructed, mate.
It is built to last. Still working on the accent. I'm not really sure which direction I want to go with it.
That's okay.
It can evolve.
Why did you build that mask?
Well, to be perfectly honest, I don't really know. So I fell down here, and pretty much everything I interacted with tried to kill me. So I just thought I'd dress myself up as scary as I could possibly think. So I put some tentacles on my face, and it seems to do the trick. It scared you, didn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so. Bloody scary. I knew it.
Are Illithid's common knowledge, would my interest be piqued that he even knows how to mimic this creature?
Illithids are kind of spoken of in legend, kind of more scary stories. They're not, especially where you're coming from, terribly commonly discussed or matters of academic intrigue for most people in the northern mountains and whatnot. However, most people have heard the descriptions of strange tentacle-faced creatures deep below the mountains that, if they catch you, will suck your brains right out of your face.
Yeah, so I don't really know why I did it, but it seems to do the trick. There's lots of spider creatures. Well, actually, you can, if you look around, you can see all the kinds of creatures I've interacted with here. I haven't killed all of them myself, but plenty of scraps down here. I think there's lots of angry things.
Fascinating.
So taking a look around, you can see an absolute menagerie of various femurs, limbs, some wings have been stapled up against the wall. Strange kind of tentacles have been draped down in kind of a beaded curtain fashion at various points and whatnot. It seems to be that no part was off limits for this manic inventor, as he has basically used whatever has been available to him down here to construct some kind of semblance of a headquarters.
Yeah, actually, I think I got the perfect thing here. Let's right on that collie over there. You see the bone sticking out?
Yes.
Yeah, could you grab me that?
Will it do something?
Not that one, no. Yeah. All right, yeah, that's good. Yeah, and I smack it to break the bone and get the point on it.
Okay.
And then I run over to like some of my rummage piles, like the random like piles of scraps and stuff, and I find like amongst the scraps I've got like this half-broken vial with some liquid in it, and it's got some like cloth kind of draped and stuffed into it, and I'm like, yeah, I think I've got enough, and I take that vial and I take the bone and kind of grind down on it a little bit somewhere to get it flush, and then I take the liquid, which is some homemade hide adhesive, glue adhesive, and I stick the bone spike onto the front of his spear, or on the front of his shield rather. I don't know. Yeah, what do you think of that?
Your shield now has a bone spike on the center of it.
The balance is different.
Well, we can fix that too. And I run over to another pile.
I'm gonna have you go ahead and make a tinkering check at this point.
All right.
And this is gonna be Tinker's Tools.
All right. So that's proficiency, and I think I'm fairly sure I'm.
We're gonna make this a dexterity-based tinkering check, as this isn't really so much a highly sophisticated build, so much as it is a matter of getting it precisely balanced and being precise with the motions here.
Okay, cool. So let's do. I want to roll that die. That die was not happy. Let's try this one. That's worse. So that's going to be 5, and then I think it's intelligence on Tinkerer's Tools. Is it?
For this one, we're making it dexterity-based.
Dexterity. Okay, right. Yeah, you said that. So that's going to be 8.
That's going to be 8. So as you're kind of messing around with it, trying to get the spike dug in, trying to get the spike adhered to the front of the shield while simultaneously not messing up the balance of it, you kind of rummage around and pull out several various hides and pelts. Honestly, you're not thinking too hard about aesthetics. However, you just start plastering stuff to the shield in various ways to equalize the balance. It kind of keeps getting heavier and heavier, like when you're not quite seasoning a dish right, you keep adding more pepper and more salt to try and hit it right, till eventually you hand it back to Nobody. Nobody, you're looking at what is ostensibly a Lady Gaga shield here. There are various bones, pelts, stones, and other detritus that have been adhered to your shield with this large bone spike coming out the front. It's heavy, but appears to be balanced.
Better.
Well, if you don't like it, I think I've got some solution to get the glue off there. Maybe not.
At this point, you hear a rattling in the upper corner of the cavern where you have slung up some time ago various chimes out of discarded bones of the creatures that you found down here. You know that this is tied to a small tripwire that you'd set up further down in the sort of southwestern passage there, and it indicates that there is something coming up towards your encampment from there.
All right.
What's that noise?
Something's coming.
Can you tell what?
No, it's just chimes. Here, come on this way. And I take him to my usual spot to defend/hide.
Is it the little cubby?
Well, I mean, I have a couple kind of around, but yeah. So whichever one's going to make the most sense based on where that chime's at.
Okay.
So
I go with him.
So you move up towards kind of the northern part of the encampment there, moving not necessarily towards your tent, but kind of off to the side of it, crouching behind several crates and barrels that you have put together out of various pieces of wood that have fallen down since then. You crouch down, and I want you both to go ahead and roll stealth checks for me, please.
Oh man.
it's bad.
Yeah. It is.
Mine is 7.
7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine is an 8.
Okay. So as you're both crouching down behind these barrels, you're both not really used to having company, and so you both kind of try and take the optimal spot to conceal your presence at the same time and start running into each other. It's your cave, but also you're trying to like hide from these things and be not dead. So
Shove off, mate. It's my cave.
Find a different spot.
It's my cubby. It's my cave.
And after a short period of time, you can see a couple of figures emerging out from that southwestern passage. Go ahead and roll perception checks really quick.
I'm doing terrible.
This is great. This is great.
Wow. 3 for me.
7.
This is going well. Okay, yeah, this is fine. This is
I
fine.
gotta figure out which dice I'm
All right, so you see as 2 large rats appear from that southwestern passage. One of them appears to be fully covered in fur. The other appears to be decomposing. Various bones are sticking out from it at various points, and it does not seem to be entirely alive, though still animate and moving about. This kind of skeletal fashion there.
Are we talking size large or just relatively large for rats?
Large, like a giant rat, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not unheard of for you, especially not for you. Giant rats are very common under dark creatures and whatnot. However,
size
these
medium.
they are notoriously dangerous, especially in groups. So this is not necessarily something you kind of are trying to hunker down and hide. However, as you're again both trying to occupy the same space, nobody kind of shoves in and accidentally gets shoved backwards and clangs against the wall there. The rat's eyes move down and look towards you. And I'm going to need you both to roll initiative for me.
Okay.
What do you think, mate? You want to hoof it? You want to fight?
They will be easily dispatched.
Alright, I'm going to put this together here real quick for me. Give me 1 second as you're rolling on in. Incidentally, Garrett, who we're going to be getting on a session 0 here in just a second, constructed these awesome tiles. Let's see if these ones are not the same kind. They have these great magnets in there. They hook together and whatnot. Yeah, they're so awesome. So we're going to be busting these out today and trying our hand at something a little fancy. Okay, right now this is your kind of tent over here. You've got a couple of rocks and stones around in here as well as a couple of various kind of crates, bookshelves and boxes and whatnot. Everything is kind of haphazard at this point. And you are hiding back here. Can I get your minis real quick?
It's unpainted. I'm so embarrassed.
You know, we will get there. It's session 0. Your character still needs to be fleshed out, literally and metaphorically. Okay, we've got these guys coming in over here. At this point, they are standing right here, looking at your direction. All right, so 25 to 20. 20 to 15. 15 to 10.
11.
11. Okay.
Hold on. What's my actual bonus on this? 12.
12? Okay, good. Alrighty. That's gonna be... Okay. And now to bust out some Sirenscape goodness. I just found out that, well, Roberto just told me that you're able to actually make playlists off of these, or kind of scene profiles. And that pretty well blew my mind. I'm currently rolling through each individual sound set, which is amazing in its diversity, but also a little overwhelming. Okay. Okay, so first up is going to be Desmond.
All right. Okay, so I am. You said that they're kind of like. You said the flesh is falling off them or something? I mean,
One of them looks to be vaguely undead, kind of skeletal. The other one appears to be befleshed, at least alive, though maybe, just an early decomposition phase or whatnot.
All right. Then I will. I'm probably used to seeing rats and stuff, so I'll just shuffle up to the boulder there and try and get a little bit of cover.
Kind of moving up to here.
Yeah, that one, and I'll be kind
Like
of
that?
popping around the corner to shoot the fleshy one.
Okay, go ahead and roll the hit.
Yeah, that's gonna be 10.
Unfortunately, that will not hit as your arrow, as your bolt just barely cruises by over the creature's shoulder there.
All right. Then I will. I think that's all I've got. I'll kind of tuck a little bit back behind the boulder again to kind of, cut off line of sight some.
Okay, sounds good. You're kind of in partial cover at this point. That brings us to Nobody.
I'll be moving up awkwardly through the difficult terrain.
Okay, so
seems.
where are you thinking about going? Like just up front?
Covering my newfound ally.
Question mark. 5, 10,
Staying in
15,
between him and the
20, 25,
creatures.
30?
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
Okay. All right. Anything else for your turn there? Bonus action.
Action, ready a strike against anything that gets in range.
Okay, sounds
Obviously,
good.
Probably rats.
All right, Nobody pulls his sword back and braces himself for coming conflict there. Sounds good. Okay, sounds good. Okay, and that brings us to this boy. He's gonna come running right up here. 5, 15, 20, 25, and he comes in range, so go ahead and take your swipe.
All right. That is a 23 to hit.
That'll definitely hit. Holy moly. All right.
Very nice. That's going to be D8 slashing. Ooh, nice. All right. 9 slashing damage.
9 slashing damage as you bring your greatsword down and slam into this creature. So you can feel bones and ribs crack under the impact as it kind of hunkers down on the ground and comes out.
Cool.
Okay. All right. That brings us to the second rat's turn here. It's also actually no. That's now it's going to take its attack at you.
Yeah.
So it is going to go ahead and go in for a bite attack. All right, and unfortunately that is going to miss for it. Well, unfortunately for me, not for you. So
That's great for me. I like it.
you easily parry it aside, surprised at the amount of extra cushioning that your now fluffy shield has, as it easily repels the creature's attack. This one also is going to come in over here. And is going to come in for an attack as well. However, this one has pack tactics now because there are 2 rats in battle with you. So, it's going to go ahead and roll at advantage. Wow! Oh, it was so close to a 19. Okay, that decided to be a 1. So, that is only going to be a 13 to hit you.
That will not hit.
Once again, this rat is just repelled by your powerful bulwark there.
Repulsed is okay. I haven't taken a shower in months.
That is fair. You've got that unique Goliath odor. So that brings us back around to Desmond.
All right. I will have trouble viewing over the top of this giant man standing in front of me, and I just kind of like peek around, like under the elbows and stuff, like see what's going on. And be like, right there he is, and then pop a bonfire underneath the one right underneath him. Yeah, or yeah,
That one
right
right
next to him there.
Okay, sounds good. We're gonna make this orange boy our bonfire. So which one? Where is it going again?
Yeah,
underneath this one.
Yep.
Okay, so he's kind of standing on it there.
Can it occupy the same space as a creature?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he has to make a dexterity saving throw.
At the beginning of his turn or immediately?
Right now, yeah.
Right now. Okay, that's okay. Rats are so good at dexterity. What's the save DC?
14.
Okay, he does not make it, so go ahead and roll damage.
Okay. D8.
Very good.
4 fire damage.
4 points of fire damage as you smell burning hair begin to fill this cavern with kind of billowing smoke as this creature starts to sizzle in the intense blaze. Okay, anything else for your turn there, Desmond?
I will. I'm gonna drop to my knee and do an action tumble underneath the table and sit there.
An action tumble. So you're currently crouched underneath the table here?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna put you like on your face here, like that. Just slide you under there. It's great. You're looking, kind of do a barrel roll sideways. You feel very secure underneath this table at eye level with the rats. So that will be your turn. Bring us back to Nobody.
All right, I'm gonna wreck it.
Wreck it?
I'll go for the one that's closer to this elf.
This elf. Okay, the skeleton one there.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and roll to hit.
All right. Looking like 7.
A 7. All right, unfortunately that will not hit as it kind of scuttles to the side out of reach of your attack there.
Can I offhand bash it with my shield?
Unfortunately, no, unless you have a feat for that. Yeah, shields are not offhand weapons.
It's got a spear attached to
I
it now.
know. So if you decide to use that as your action, we can talk about that.
Sure.
But
It's just the world's most awkward dagger.
it's fine. That gives you +2 armor class.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally legit. Stick a piece of bone on it. It's now a
dagger.
+2 shield. It's great. All right. So that will end Nobody's turn. And so as you're kind of crouched underneath the table here preparing your attack, another form appears behind you wielding a stone club, apparently had been skirting around in the shadows of the cave, as what you would know to be a Grimlock appears behind you. It's got this strange kind of like hunched form. Its eyes are completely blind, kind of sealed over by flesh, grayish skin that makes it hard to see against the stone, wielding a spiked club that it swings underneath the table towards you.
All right.
This is a surprise attack, so it's going to be at advantage. That is going to be a 22 to hit.
That'll hit.
Okay, so that is going to be this much. You take 7 points of bludgeoning damage,
Ouch.
plus another 2 points of piercing damage, for a total of 9.
All right.
All right. The creature kind of pulls back and readies another attack. Not literally readies it, just pulls back ready to looks like ready to take his next round. That'll end his turn, bringing us to the skeletal rat, which is going to come back in at Nobody.
Yeah, right.
Okay, at advantage is going to be 15, is not going to hit.
Not quite.
Second rat is going to take its turn and also swing at Nobody. Oh, that's going to be a 23 to hit.
That'll hit.
Okay, so that brings us... Okay, 4 points of piercing damage to you, Nobody, as this rat sinks its teeth into the calf of your leg there. All right, that brings us to Desmond.
Okay, I did maintain concentration on the bonfire, by the way.
Oh, excellent. Oh, actually, this guy, speaking of which, is going to move off the bonfire, because obviously he's going to do that.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess with, now that I see that guy there, I'm gonna go. I'm going to cast Sanctuary on myself.
Oh, geez.
Sanctuary! Sanctuary!
And then I will, that's a bonus action? I'll take the dodge action.
Okay, taking the dodge action. As you're crouched under the table, you kind of...
Oh, I'm so screwed.
It's a little cramped in there for evasive movement, but you have got yourself positioned in a way that you can evade an incoming attack, hopefully. So that brings us to Nobody.
All right. How are these rats in front of me looking?
They both look pretty rough at this point. The skeletal rat definitely looks like it's taken more of a hit from your intense swing earlier. The more alive-looking rat definitely looks also damaged, but not quite as bad as the first one.
Okay. I'll hit the skeletal rat one more time.
Okay.
Or attempt to, at least.
Go ahead and roll to hit.
That's going to be a 15.
That'll hit. Roll damage.
Yay. Oof, very good. Another 9 points of slashing.
9 points of slashing is enough to crunch this rat into a pile of bones to be added to Desmond's collection.
Very good.
All right. It is now basically reduced to rubble. And anything else for your turn there?
I'm going to go around where it used to be and get onto the other side of the bonfire.
like this. So you're kind of going 5, 10, 15, 20, like this. Okay.
And just hang out there. I believe that provokes an attack of opportunity unless it already used its reaction.
It did not, so it's going to go ahead and take its attack of opportunity, which is just going to be an 11, so you're good.
Nice. Dink.
All right, no problem at all. You get out of range there and take cover on the other side of the fire. That brings us to the Grimlock, which is going to take another swing at Desmond.
Is it?
Sanctuary.
That's what this wisdom saving throw is for.
Right.
Absolutely, yeah. So, wisdom save is 14, you said?
14, yeah.
14. It brings its staff in. And it's going to decide not to do that. And it's going to leave and run towards nobody. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is going to stop there. And it consumed its action from trying to hit you, so that is gonna be its turn. So that brings us to that guy who's dead, and the rat over here, who is also going to rush in towards the far down Desmond there, and make its wisdom saving throw of natural 20. So that one is going to work. However, it's gonna roll at disadvantage. Those are 2 19s.
Oh boy.
Okay.
I am down.
Oh man.
Okay. Yeah, that's going to be 4 points of piercing damage. As this one digs
down.
in, you go unconscious below there, and that will end its turn. So that brings us to Desmond. Go ahead and roll a death saving throw.
That's a fail.
Okay, go ahead and mark off 1 failed death save. Brings us to nobody.
Okay. How are we gonna pull this one off? So he's down. He doesn't have concentration anymore.
Yes.
Sanctuary's off.
So the fire does vanish at this point.
Okay. Oh yeah, the fire would have
fire would
vanished
vanish with Sanctuary.
earlier.
Oh, right, because concentration, right.
I'm going to bum rush this. Do we have stats for a spiked shield? Is that a thing?
We're gonna say it's 1d4 damage if you decide to hit with it.
Okay. I don't.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna bum rush the rat with a slash attack.
Okay, boom. Assume you're kind of coming down over here.
Yeah, roughly.
Okay, go ahead and roll to hit.
That's gonna be a 13.
That'll hit. Roll damage.
Another 9 slashing damage. I've just been rolling straight 6s on
Wow, very nice. So once more, you managed to cleave this rat in half.
Yes.
This one being less skeletal is much more juicy upon its death, and you see gore begin to explode out from it.
Good.
It is a messy scene, to be sure, and you see Desmond's unconscious form underneath the table there.
Okay. Can I drag somebody as a bonus action, or does that have to be a full action?
We'll say that you can drag somebody at half movement.
Okay. I begin dragging him towards one of the exits of the cave.
Okay, which one? 1, 2, or 3?
3, I
Three.
think, is going to make the most sense.
Okay, so you kind of pull him out, and you've moved 1, 2 at this point, so you can move him a total of 20 feet, so 2 squares.
Okay.
So you get him over to about here. All right, you start to drag him along, very good. That brings us to the Grimlock, who is going to where'd he go? Over here. And that's kind of tricky for him. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And he is going to go ahead and take the dodge action.
Okay.
All right, that ends his turn, bringing us back to Desmond. Go ahead and roll another death saving throw.
Alright. That's a pass.
No.
All right, that's 1 success, 1 failure. Very good. You feel yourself kind of floating in this dark space. It's not the first time you've been brought to this point, to this close to death. You have had several encounters down in the Underdark that have tested you and very nearly killed you, especially taking a little bit of poison and disease over time, and you're familiar with this kind of strange in-between sense of weightlessness, this kind of cold, seeping darkness that you float in at this point. However, it does not change the overwhelming anxiety and terror you have of the uncertainty whether you're going to rise up or fall down. That brings us to Nobody.
Sizing up this thing, have I ever seen anything like it before? The little.
You
creature?
have not. At this, well, okay, let's have you roll a nature check for this.
Okay. 14?
14. You know, you've heard of strange kind of warped humanoid beings down in the Underdark before. They are all unsavory, generally speaking. Creatures twisted by the dark, but you're not really sure which one this may fall under, what kind of being this is. It looks kind of vaguely goblinoid, but with, even by goblin standards, ugly.
Alright, I'm gonna keep dragging my newfound friend here
Okay.
towards the exit
That's
as far
good.
as I can.
5, 15. Zoop.
And kind of want to be in between him and the creature, but
I'll say you can drag him 5 feet and then get in between the two of you.
that'll
which
do.
case
That'll
we'd be-
do the way it is, I think.
The way it is? Okay. Sounds good. That brings us back to the Grimlock, who's going to charge forward 5, 15, 20, 30. Coming around is going to go for Nobody once more. Bringing his spiked club down for a 16 to hit? Nope. All right, so once more you easily parry it aside, this time with your sword. And that brings us to Desmond's turn once more. Go ahead and roll a death saving throw.
Fail. Oh boy.
Okay, that's 2 death saves. Okay, 2 failed. Brings us to Nobody.
Do I have anything on me? We didn't necessarily discuss starting equipment.
So we're going to say at this point you have kind of a basic adventurer's kit. You have enough on you to do a first aid check if you'd like to try that to stabilize.
Seeing how easily I can parry this thing, I'm gonna just put my shield up and sort of look over, see if I can do anything to patch up his wounds.
Okay, sounds good.
So medicine check?
Yep.
Okay. That's a 4.
A 4. Unfortunately, that is not going to be enough as you attempt to stanch the wounds from the heavy bludgeoning damage that Desmond's taken there. You're unable to stabilize him at this point. So, that is going to bring us to the Grimlock, who's once again going to attack you for 9. So, once more, no problem, just bonking him off of there. Full tank status. That'll bring us to Desmond.
That's a pass.
Okay, so you feel yourself dip down deeper into the darkness. You begin to see this kind of octagonal room appear before you, with what appears to be just glimpses of light around. However, you resist and pull yourself back up into the darkness below and will yourself upwards. Okay, that brings us back to Nobody.
Oh boy. Ah, jeez. Gonna do another medicine check if I can.
Okay.
Try to stabilize him. It's a 5.
Oh, man. So, at this point, you are quickly realizing that it's hard to focus on performing first aid while something is actively attempting to hit you with a spiked club. So, this also does not work. Bringing us to the Grimlock, who's going to hit you again. That one is going to be a 18, which just... Right, you have 19 armor class. This is going to be great. I'm so excited.
Bounces off my elbow.
Fun.
There's a little stone nodule on the end of my elbow.
One little
outta here.
nugget of bone there. Brings us to that brings us to Nobody, or just to Grimlock. Desmond, yeah.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Moment of truth.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll it.
It's a fail.
No way.
It's a fail.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I mean, I probably would have died to the rats.
Well, unfortunately, Desmond, you feel yourself tumble down into this strange kind of room. You smell sea air kind of billowing through it. As you descend down into what appears to be this kind of cathedral-looking structure, you look around and you're standing on the edge of an ocean. You look out across this sea, there's mist billowing across it. and this kind of salty air blowing through this open air. I suppose it'd be more like a pavilion. But looking about this kind of coastal area, you see a figure approaching, standing on the deck of a boat. As he comes forward, he has a long sword in hand that seems to sort of billow this strange kind of warping energy. And he steps off the boat and begins to walk towards you. Step by step, this robe kind of billowing behind him. He has a oar in one hand, which he uses as sort of a cane as he walks. And you can see as he approaches, this hood drop down and a long graying beard moving down across his face, and his hair tied back in a short bun there. And he steps up to the pavilion, looks at you. Fine to see one of you here so soon.
Hi, how you going?
Yeah, you did. But you're not done.
Done with what?
You get one freebie here, my friend.
Not exactly sure where here is. My name's Desmond. Hi.
He kind of looks down at the hand extended to you. Looks up at you. Hi. You've got some work yet to do, my friend. And he reaches out, grips your hand, and you feel this kind of icy sensation dig in through your hands, moving up your veins into your body. You feel your entire form just tremble, that one, and shake as this kind of intense cold sensation moves throughout your form. And you feel yourself kind of shiver until suddenly you feel yourself re-enter your body in this kind of very abrupt and sickening sense, as you feel almost like the slime coating moving across your form, dripping down into the body, into the floor below you. You can't move. You're currently paralyzed, but you feel that breath has returned to your form, and the terrible injuries that you have incurred have at least been non-mortal at this point. However, all you can do at this point is stare upwards at the form of your ally there, unable to move or indicate that you have returned to consciousness. And that is going to end your turn, bringing us to Nobody.
All right, I'm gonna slash it.
Slash it.
That's a 21 to hit.
That'll hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
5 slashing.
Okay, 5 slashing. That will... Okay, you carve your sword down across it. It kind of like trembles and keeps coming at you. It's going to go ahead and roll to hit. That's going to be a 22.
That'll hit.
Okay.
I would like to use Stone's Endurance as soon as the damage comes through.
Okay, sounds good. You're going to go ahead and take 3 points of bludgeoning damage, followed by 2 points of piercing damage.
Okay, Stone's Endurance applies to all the damage from the attack, or just one of the damage types? Or...
It's going to be all of the damage from the attack for this one.
All right, so I reduce it all by 5.
Okay.
I take no damage, I think.
So as this weapon slams in, you kind of brace yourself, feel this deep, powerful force of the mountain that you've grown up upon kind of fortify you against the blow as you tense and absorb the impact from the shot.
Nice.
Okay, that brings us to Desmond. Desmond, I want you to go ahead and roll 1 death saving throw. However, this isn't really like a death saving throw. This is going to be more about whether you can return yourself to coherence.
All right. It's an 18.
Okay, so as you're kind of breathing, you see this creature. Breath kind of returns to you, and you feel your limbs start to be able to move again. This kind of icy cold beginning to leave them. And that'll be your turn. However, you are now capable of taking actions again next turn.
Do I have 1 HP?
At 1 HP. Yep.
Nice.
All right.
Okay, that brings us to Nobody.
Nice. Same plan. It's in front of me. I think he's toast.
Okay, yeah, he basically looks dead at this point.
I've sort of given up on
yeah,
medicine checks, and now I'm just wailing on this thing.
that makes sense. Okay,
Ooh, jeez. There we are. That's going to be a 18 to hit.
that'll hit. Roll damage.
All right. 8 slashing damage.
8 slashing damage. Okay. It looks bad at this point. You've carved across its center there. As you can see, various entrails beginning to tumble out of its abdomen.
All right.
And
Successful.
Yep. That brings us to the Grimlock, who's going to take another shot at you there with a 14 to hit. Will not hit. Brings us to Desmond. Desmond, you are now conscious and able to take an action if you're so inclined. However, you are prone.
All right. Have I noticed that how many targets are still around? Are both the
rats are gone.
dead?
The rats are both dead. You see the Grimlock currently wailing on your newfound companion.
Okay. Well, without giving any sort of telegraph or anything, I instantly tumble back towards the rock and shoot my crossbow.
Okay. You take a tumble, you pull a vein, and fire away.
That was cocked in the corner, though. It was a 3, but it was cocked in the corner. That's a 4, though, so...
Oh,
that's a
okay.
miss.
Much better. Unfortunately, still will not hit as the bolt... You're still a little, numb. Your hands are trembling, and the bolt flies off.
Crossbow bolt just flies out from behind me.
Nobody, you are up.
That's not distracting at all. I will totally stay focused on stabbing this thing. Well, slashing at it. And that's an 11 to hit.
That is an 11. That unfortunately will not hit on it.
All right.
As it
Maybe
kind
it was
of
a little
parries
distracting.
aside the blade. You're a little distracted, maybe. You're like, that guy was dead. Oh, crap, that's right. And bring your sword around. It's going to go ahead and take another swipe at you. That is going to be a 19 plus 3 is going to be a 12.
Dang.
Okay.
19 plus 3?
Yeah.
That's...
Or 22, sorry.
Okay.
Whatever ends in 2, 1 or 2. What's the difference between a 12 and a 22?
So that'll hit.
Yeah. Okay, so that is going to be a 4 points of damage total. 3 smashing, bludgeoning, 1 piercing.
Okay.
Okay, and that brings us back around to Desmond.
All right. I will... I'll shoot at...
I'm not looking too hot.
crossbow.
Okay, you're looking pretty rough at this point.
It's 21 to hit.
That'll hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
About time I freaking hit something. All right, so that's a D8. So 7 piercing.
Whoa.
Okay, give me a kill cam on this guy.
Nice.
All right. So I've been shooting with this thing and it's been missing every time. So I take a look at. I hold it up for a second. I go, what the hell's going on with this thing? I take a look and I realize that something weird is happening with the trigger, and I'm messing with it, and boom, and it shoots him straight to the head.
So kind of realizing something is off with the crossbow, Desmond is fiddling with it. It kind of points it at the ground a little bit actually as he's going, and he kind of says, "Oh right." And he yanks that. The bolt hits the ground, ricochets upward, and right through the center of the creature's head. As it's going in for a swipe towards Nobody, it goes and collapses onto the ground on its side there, club tumbling out of its lifeless clutches.
Boy. I turn around.
I'm over here smacking this thing, not even realizing what the heck happened.
You're alive.
Oh yeah, right.
How?
Well, I don't quite know. I've actually lost a lot of blood since I've been down here in general, and I always seem to wake back up. I'm not quite sure what that's all about, but yeah. I mean, as long as I take care of the thing that attacked me in the first place. Sometimes I'll go down afterwards, just kind of, lose track of things and fall asleep, and I'll have some interesting dreams. There was this one time that I was that I was actually standing out on a lake, and I mean standing. I had my boots on and everything, but I was actually out there standing, and I had a fishing rod, but it didn't have fishing tackle on it. What it actually had was a giant T-bone steak. So I was throwing this thing out there, and what it was is the body of a fish, but it actually had the head of a bear, and it was flying up out of the water trying to catch this T-bone steak that I was flipping up across the lake that way. That's kind of funny.
You have strange gods.
Well, I know anything about gods, but it was a fun dream.
All right, so you now stand heavily injured amid the carnage of what you have created. The creature, the Grimlock, lies before you now. Several of the other rats now kind of strewn into various parts and chunks from the impacts of this great sword also kind of spatter the various belongings that you've assembled since being down here, Desmond. What are you going to do?
Really quickly, it is just a long sword. It just looks like a great sword.
Oh.
It's just a long sword.
You can use it in two hands.
Yeah, any long sword, sure.
That's true. So it's a little different from a great sword.
It's
great sword looking, but this guy's swole enough that a great sword looks like a long sword to him.
all right.
How the hell did you get down here anyway?
I was looking for a creature. I suppose that was you.
Well, some people have called me some pretty rude things before, but that's not very nice, especially since you're new to me.
I'm seeking.
My name's Desmond, by the way. You don't have to call me creature.
I am seeking a creature that looks like your disguise.
Right.
You managed to deceive those above.
Why, who's up there? I haven't been up there in some time.
Seems to be random travelers. Nothing much.
Well, did you leave a rope up? I mean, I'd like to get out of here. Actually, I've been kind of cozy down here for a little while, but honestly, I could go for a bit of real food. Some of the stuff down here tastes a little bit weird.
It was not difficult to climb down, but I can assist you. We'll go back over to where the pitons are.
Okay, so the rope is still hanging up that you left, and something is a little bit different. As you approach, you can see that the rope has been manipulated. There appears to be something tied to the end of it. A small cloth bundle with a red ribbon is now dangling from the end of this.
Is this your doing?
Yeah, probably. I mean, you can blame me if you want. I'm okay with that.
I'm going to open it. If anything happens, stay back, and then save me or something.
Right. Actually, do you want to? Yeah, I'll wake it back up if you go down.
Good. I'm going to use second wind first.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your hit points restoration there.
That's gonna regain
Did you get con on that?
7.
All right.
Did I get what?
7 points back to you.
Or
No.
is it just a D10?
1 sec. 7. Ding. Sorry. One more time.
So you get 7 points back.
I do.
Excellent. All right. And
And
you go ahead and you open the pack.
Mm-hmm.
Inside, several things immediately kind of tumble out into your hands. One is a small gemstone, a carnelian, worth 50 gold pieces. And a scroll also tumbles down into your hand. In addition, you find 2 silver bracelets that also fall into your palm, each of which carries, as sort of a trinket attached to it, the likeness of the Grimlock, hanging from it as a sort of charm off of the bracelet.
Okay.
And a small note, currently that the bracelets are attached to via a small piece of thread.
Okay. All right.
So, carnelian, small note, bracelets, and what was the other one?
So you get the carnelian, 1 scroll, which appears to be a cantrip, and a small pouch containing a note and 2 silver bracelets.
Oh. I take a look at the note.
Okay.
Is it written in a language I understand?
Yep, it's written in straight up common.
Very good. That's nice. It's wordy.
Can you handle wordy?
Yes. There are just so many of them.
What's it say?
It says, congratulations on your... Well, here. You read it.
Right, I'll take a look at it. Congratulations on your victory. It was a battle hard fought, but you have proven yourselves capable of rising to even greater deeds. My master is seeking those who have found themselves displaced by destiny, those for whom the mundane has proven unattainable. You each have regrets you flee from, with potential yet unfulfilled, and my master seeks only to see you grow. To that end, you are invited to participate in gathering on Lake Keppel sounds better. Where you shall meet those others like you, who have been cast into the world like dice upon a table. Be there in 1 week's time, and your questions shall be answered. Warmest regards, Frednick Summerwald.
May I see it?
Yeah. Do you know who Frederick is?
Fred. It's an N.
Frednick?
Frednick.
Right, Frednick. Sounds like a posh customer.
Summerwald. Do I recognize the name whatsoever?
Go and roll a history check.
That's a nat one.
You do not.
Okay.
How about me? Do I know that?
All right, I'll give you one as well. Yeah.
With the way the dice are going, I'd probably...
Yeah, this is pretty brutal today.
Yeah. What is the check, sorry?
History.
History. Okay, so it's actually mine's pretty good there, but it's 6 plus 4, so 10. But
Unfortunately, you as well have not heard this name, Frednick Summerwald.
Where's this thing?
where does it say it to go?
Lake Keppel.
Well, you got anything better going on?
No,
Me neither.
this was it.
Well, I suppose I'm not quite as scary as you might have thought at first.
I am more surprised that you lived.
Yeah, me too.
You said that had happened before?
Well, I've gone unconscious when I wasn't really trying to sleep or anything before, but I always seem to wake up. Well, I guess resilient enough, but I definitely had some struggles down here. That's not the first rats I've seen, but the other guy, I'm not sure about that one.
And what about the note, the package? Have you seen something like that?
Not down here. Last time I saw something like that, I was back home, probably.
You received one?
Well, I mean, like something done up like that, where it was dressed up nice with a name, warm regards, and all that.
Ah, a letter.
Right.
Right.
All right. The rope hangs before you, and I'm assuming we're kind of climbing on up at this point?
Yeah, now that there's a rope that goes all the way up, I'm pretty ecstatic about it, and I will...
That solves a few problems.
Go ahead.
All right. And we'll go up the rope and use feather fall in case any of us has any issues. But I don't know if you want to make a roll on that one, but I've got feather fall.
We're going to go ahead and say, through trial and error, maybe a few slips and slides here and there, you do manage to make your way back up this rope onto the upper mountainside. Once more, for the first time in weeks, Desmond, you feel the wind upon your face. This kind of blessed sense of cold, and it's got a sharpness to it that you have missed.
Oh, bloody hell, it's bright. I'll put my goggle back on. Put my mask back on, latch it on.
Yeah, those are...
Right, that's better.
Anyway, yeah.
You may want to change that.
What's wrong with it?
People were telling stories of a, creature, and the kind of creature that people would seek to hunt and kill, as I did.
I could be that creature for them, if that's what they want.
You are surprisingly resilient, but I don't think you want to be hunted.
I'm used to it.
Well, to each their own. If they come for you, I then I must stand and fight with you.
Have I gotten my bearings at all? I mean, I know roughly where I went in. Am I close to where I...
Go ahead and roll a nature check.
Okay.
And if you'd like to assist on this,
sure.
Nobody, then you've probably got a slightly better idea of where you are in relation to Carrig at this point.
I know exactly where I'm at. That one.
Nice.
Nat
yeah.
20.
Nat 20. That's what I like. That is just this session so far. So you you have no idea, but upon Nobody kind of giving you some idea of what's going on about the positioning of where you're at, you realize that you're a little bit east of Carrig at this point, still kind of in the northern mountain range. You haven't gone far from where you first fell into the lower cave system here. And you realize that through all these weeks of travel and hardship that you really only traveled a few miles overall from your original entry point. And kind of coming back up and realizing that you are out, you're not at this point seemingly being chased further out of Carrig or whatnot, and you have a future ahead of you to figure out. You feel this kind of sense of perhaps not peace, but the sense of purpose fill you, that there is now a direction to travel in and there is something new to do waiting you. Likewise, Nobody, having emerged from this place, realizing that the creature that you hunted was not what you thought it would be, you are left kind of feeling this sense of uncertainty as to where to find your next challenge, your next triumph. And this note kind of weighs heavily in your mind as a possible next step to find out your future journey.
All right.
And that is where we're going to go ahead and pick it up next time for you guys with the session 1 coming out here. So that's your session 0, guys. First session 0 of the campaign of Anor here. Awesome. It's freaking pleasure, guys.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I went down.
Should we do it?
Should we do?
Should we go?
Right. I think we'd be pretty rude to not. I think. I mean, we got invited, apparently. I don't know who this guy is, but I'm not one to turn down an invite, right?
It is not addressed to anyone. Perhaps it was for the creature, the other one.
Well, that's an interesting thought there. But,
Then we will go. And
Yeah,
we
might as
will
well.
destroy them all.
well, that's good enough for me. I don't have anything else going on.
And in this way, we will prove our strength.
Sure, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll be strong or something, right? Yeah.
There will be none who can stand against us.
I guess which direction is a lake from here? I guess we need to go.
Yeah, go ahead and roll a nature check.
Another one?
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm assuming you have a map on you, given your time. So we're going to say you have a little bit of this world map of Anor. You would know that Lake Capal is way out in the Relgar Riverlands, which are out near Abinlock, sort of to the west, down towards the ocean.
Okay.
So so Lake Capal's a very large lake, very far, again, towards the coast, but it's got a small town that's sort of on a peninsula going out into the lake from there. It's probably, for you, about a week's journey from where you're at. It's going to be a bit of a hike to get over there, but you'll be able to get there in time if you're interested in taking the...
Is that the Bara, the town?
That's not going to be Bara. No,
Okay.
that's...
Because I know that town's on a lake, but...
One second here. Oops, my map is currently not... There it is.
Yeah.
So, one second.
Oh yeah, should we have opened that up or something for the stream?
Perhaps.
Are we on a window here? Oh.
Okay, so for a point of reference here, you guys are up around over here, just east of Carrig. Lake Capal is going to be down here outside Skiff.
Oh boy.
So it's a little bit of a haul over there, but this is not an enormous continent. You can get there in about a week's travel here, a few hundred miles of work there.
All right, cool.
No, not a few hundred, more like 140, I think, something around that.
Yep.
I need to do some measuring.
Well, cool. Well, yeah, I suppose we'll head that way.
Yeah.
Has a plan.
It is decided.
Excellent. Well, I will see you all in about 2 weeks for that then. Woohoo! It'll be sweet. Awesome. Thank you guys.
Awesome session, man.
Yeah, so we're going to be starting up our next session 0. This one is going to be with Harry and Lucas in about 45 minutes here. So go ahead and take a break, go to the bathroom, get some lunch, what have you. We'll be starting up right around 3 o'clock for that. So stay tuned.